RCK. As I read more stories from former Sea Org members about women in the Sea Org who end up pregnant, having to get an abortion, a simple question comes to mind. If nothing is to interfere with the work of the Sea Org, not even pregnancy, then isn't birth control pushed and, more importantly, provided? This would seem to be the best solution for an organization that demands total commitment, but at the same time permits its members to have sex. Or is this another case of it's best if you use birth control, but you have to buy your own birth control? Don't expect Scientology to spend its own money on you. Okay, complicated, difficult topic. All I can say is the whole time that I was in the Sea Org, no one ever offered to pay for any aspect of birth control, abortion, or any part of it. Most of those funds, though, I mean, we did use birth control, my wife and I, when I was in the Sea Org, and the Planned Parenthood, we were in Los Angeles at the Big Blue buildings, the PAC base. There's a Planned Parenthood right down the road. I mean, they'll give you more condoms than you ever wanted to use. And my wife was on birth control, and she was getting that through Planned Parenthood, as I understood it, and getting it at some kind of a discount. Now, if I'm wrong about that, and Planned Parenthood wasn't giving her the birth control, then she was getting it through some other discount program, because I know that's how she was getting it. The Sea Org was not paying for any of that birth control. And when she needed to get an abortion, that was also on the public dime. Almost all Sea Org members, not public Scientologists, don't mind you, and not the general staff, I'm talking about the Sea Org specifically, use the public funds. So they'll go claim poverty as individuals, and the church has actually set up lines like with the LA County Hospital and with other hospitals in the greater Los Angeles area, various specialists and stuff. They've kind of set those lines up, kind of greased those lines so that they know how to get a Sea Org member the cheapest possible medical care, but still competent medical care. I mean, if you go down to LA County, it's not exactly the best place to be on a Friday or Saturday night when there's gunshot wounds literally right next to you. But you're going to get quality medical care there. So anyway, on birth control, that was what I saw and experienced. And I can't imagine that other people were getting, I never once saw the Sea Org flip the bill for anything related to birth control. Now, according to more recent information, in the most extreme cases where they don't really trust you anymore with the birth control, then for males, they're going to get a vasectomy, and women would, get their tubes tied, and that would be that. And then there wouldn't be any more need for birth control ever again. So I've seen that happen at least once, probably twice. So, and I also did see Sea Org members, like I had a friend in the Sea Org who went and got a vasectomy on his own. I don't know how he paid for it. I imagine like I just described, I imagine he just used the public dole to get it, discounted or paid for somehow. I don't know. But he did that on his own because he, saw that was a problem with the birth control and stuff, and that's how he went about doing it. So when it's, and I don't have a problem with somebody who voluntarily goes and does that. That's, fine. But let's keep in mind that this was a guy who was married in the Sea Org who thought that the rest of his life he was going to spend in the Sea Org. He's still there, so maybe he was right. And so they were never going to have kids, so they made that choice, right? When it's not your choice, when it's something you don't want to do, then I have a real problem with it, and that was why we talked about it in that earlier interview with Bree. So if you want to check that out, you can. Yeah, the Sea Org isn't really big on paying for anything that they don't have to. If they can avoid it in any way, they will. So that's kind of how that goes.